Support my content by becoming a patron on patreon.com/JaianMusic.
Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters. I'm your host, Hotshot Ginger, and with me I have the video game inclined JaianMusic. How's it going, buddy?
I'm what? I'm not video game inclined?
You're
What are you trying to say?
Is it inclined? No, it's video game challenged, I guess.
I'm not challenged
You are a little bit.
in video games?
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, guys, so in today's topic, we're talking about our, this is episode 97 on our road to 100, which means it is a My Pick podcast. And my pick, I wanted to talk about Nintendo games. But before we get into that, Jane did tell me off podcast he had something to announce real quick. So you want to go ahead and get that out of the way?
Very quickly, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been streaming the podcast from India. For some reason, we are booming in India and getting like 100 listens a day consistently. And I just wanted to point to you guys, there's a video version of the podcast if you want to enjoy it. And we are on Facebook. And I just kind of want to remind you that we're on all these different platforms. And we would really appreciate you guys to follow us there. Check out the links in the description because it's really a way to help us grow the podcast for free. So just a shout out to my Indian folks. That's all I wanted to start with. All right. That's all I wanted to say.
And with that out of the way, so for our Nintendo picks, there were a couple rules in stipulation here that might get bended a little bit because you guys know this podcast. You know, we don't really listen to our own stipulations. We tried going as Nintendo straight and savvy as we possibly could, but there are some games that like aren't made by Nintendo themselves that have made their way onto Nintendo consoles, like the GameCube or the Wii U or anything like that. So we went ahead and counted those as valid picks. And with that being said, Jane, what actually went into making your list? Because I didn't know how much Nintendo you actually A, played, or B, even knew about. You actually messaged me off podcast saying, hey, what other consoles are there besides the Switch and the NES?
Yeah, so I started off with the good old Google search, anime Nintendo games, and I started scrolling through. I was like, oh, I know this one. Oh, I know that one. Oh, I played this one. And I started like putting together a list of 5 games, no more than 5 games that I enjoyed or would like to talk about on the podcast. And then I started looking through other consoles and found new games that I'd never played before but look really fun and I'd like to discuss. So basically, I really went through all these games, and for me, the ground rule here is it has to be anime based. Some sort of anime influence has to be within the game to make it on the podcast. So all my games are very much anime based, and they're all from Nintendo or are on a Nintendo console. So I stated I think only one of my picks is like not straight up from Nintendo and is in collaboration with Nintendo. So that's basically what went into my picks.
I'll probably be sure to tell you, like, actually, that's not Nintendo, but we'll deal with that when it comes. What went into mine was I've played so many Nintendo, but Nintendo a lot of the time will have a certain formula for certain franchises, like Pokemon being a turn-based or Mario being a 2D or 3D platform or anything like that. I tried to go some of those franchises, but where they branched out in a different gameplay style. So where it was totally different than the original. That's what I tried to go off of.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
They've done that a few times, actually. But there is one from my childhood that I really want to talk about because it's still a big part of my life.
Right on, but how many times have they done that, just out of curiosity?
They've done it quite a number of times. I don't have an exact number because I know they've done it more than I have on my list. They've done it for several other franchises. They've done it for Mario quite a few times, for Kirby quite a few times, for Fire Emblem. They've done it for a lot of their different series. So I don't have all of them. I don't know all of them, but I know that they're not shy to extend the boundary of what they're used to.
Okay, very cool. Would you like to go first or should I go first?
You go ahead and go first because I have less of a chance to pick one of yours that way. Knowing our luck, I'm going to.
I feel like I'm pretty safe with my picks. I feel like if I pick this specific one right now, this is like the only one that you might have. So I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna start from the PlayStation 3. I'm gonna start with Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. No reaction?
No reaction, because that's not even on a Nintendo console.
It's on the Nintendo Switch apparently.
Oh, yeah, because it just recently got ported. Like this year, it got ported.
I don't know. When I was Googling and looking up Naruto, like anime Nintendo games, this one came up. The Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series. So I mean, is it like not at all by Nintendo?
No, not at all. It was out on PS3 years before Nintendo even did that. Years before it even ported it.
I mean, from my understanding, it's a remastered version that was put on the Switch back in 2018.
It doesn't say remaster. It's just the 3 Storm games bundled up together. That's really all it is. But I mean, it's on your list, so hey, go ahead.
I mean, from my my research, I got like a statement saying that a remastered version of the game released in the trilogy format was made available in April 26, 2018 on Nintendo Switch. So that's why I'm counting it as a Nintendo game.
All right. Look, I've bent the rules before, so I'll try not to do it so much. But you can only bend the rules so much before they absolutely snap.
No, I get that, but at the same time, I want you to call me out on this stuff. So, like, let's have a conversation about it. Like, I understand this is not straight up a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if Nintendo's gonna adopt it, and
it is,
and everything.
It is playable on a Nintendo system, so I will give you that. What I wanted to do mainly was, if it is playable on a Nintendo system, that it's only playable on Nintendo. Like, you can't get it anywhere else. Like, the Storm trilogy, for example, I have on PS4, and it actually came out on PS4 and Xbox One long before it came out on the Switch. Like, for some reason, Nintendo is really, really slow in picking up console spaced out games or console shared games. Like they're really slow to the draw on it, where Xbox and PlayStation, it happens like at the same time.
Okay, well, when I did my research and I typed in anime Nintendo games, like this one was like one of the first to pop up.
Okay,
right?
It popped up. It popped up probably due to the popularity of the game, because Storm is an awesome game.
It's the best. I really enjoy this game. But before getting into this game, like to me, like this goes back to like a bit of how I saw my picks. I feel like Nintendo is it's a bit more narrow in just everything that's anime. It's like way more arcade based stuff in my opinion. There's a couple of fighters and stuff, but like they don't have a super huge. They're not like the anime creators of video games.
They're not super
you know?
huge. They're not super huge, but that's why off podcast, when I reminded you of the our Japanese games that we had, like almost none of my picks were had actual anime to them. Like 1 or 2 of them did, but most of them didn't. And I chose Nintendo specifically for the fact that it is a Japanese company. It started in Japan, and there are some series that they have that actually do have anime. Like Mario has one anime special, and it's terrible, but it still has an anime special. But then there's series like Fire Emblem that is very heavily anime based. Legend of Zelda, which is like the designs and everything look very, very anime. So that's why I decided to count. I counted it mainly for the fact that it's animated Japanese video games, and that is exactly what it is, because anime is animated Japanese cartoons. I just did it for video games.
Right. Okay. So let's get back more into the pick here. I think it's important to have these like not off topic but like off pick conversations to really establish like what we were thinking going into our picks. So Ultimate Ninja Storm obviously is part of a trilogy. I even think there's a 4th one if I'm not mistaken.
That's the one that you and I play. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. No worries. It was remastered in 2018 for the from the PS3 to be ported over to the Nintendo Switch. And I love it. There's 25 playable fighters, and you really this specific game is like the gateway from awesome Naruto games just in general. I don't know how to say it, but this was like the first Naruto game that I played that wasn't Chronicles or that wasn't Ultimate Ninja that I really truly enjoyed, that I thought had beautiful 3D battle arenas and a lot of mobility or combos and a great storyline. Obviously, taking on the original Naruto storyline with everything. But I don't know why, but like it was made in this specific way where everything felt a bit more intense to me. Like the rivalry between Sasuke and Naruto, which are on the cover of this game, just felt way more real to me. So just in general, this game is an amazing anime game. I loved it.
Just so for my recollection, you played the original Storm, right? That's the one you're talking about right now?
A lot.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to get clarification there because when it comes to Naruto Storm, I have talked about it before on Naruto games and on anime based games. So we have talked a lot about this one. But that's just because of how awesome a game it actually is. Following the entirety of original Naruto's story, be it throughout the filler or without the filler, I mean, and just the 3D battle fighting with tag team assists, it really does fit well. And even hell, you actually had tag team assists in the original Ultimate Ninja series too, where that one was a foreground background fighter. This one's like a battle 3D arena.
Yes, and it included like really cool things. Like Ultimate Ninja on PS2 had like these like boss battles, which were fun with like summonings. But now you get to do these as like a 3D thing, which made it even cooler. And the other thing that I really enjoyed about this is that I felt like it took what from Ultimate Ninja once again and included the Awakening mode. The Awakening mode is so cool in that game. And it was like the first, whoa, okay, I'm going gates here. Whoa, I'm using the Nine Tails chakra. Like it took those forms and those like whatever you want to call them and made them even more intense. That's what this game made it to me. Like it just took Naruto and just intensified all of the action and everything you enjoyed about Naruto in general.
It did. You might have to get the original Storm so we can play it at some point because I really want to play the original with you.
I mean, we'll start with Sonic Racing, bro.
No, I know. Let me ask you this because I don't know if you did know this. Did you know once you beat the story in the original Storm, you can still take on the missions, but when you take on the battle missions, you can instantly awaken if you're like Naruto, Lee, or Sasuke. You can go into the fight.
I didn't know
awakened.
that. No, I did not know that. Like as like Nine Tails Naruto or just like Awaken mode Naruto?
As like Nine Tail Naruto, eight gates Lee, 8 gates Guy, Curse Mark Sasuke. Basically, if they have
those
a
become
form
playable
change.
characters,
Huh?
But those become playable characters, or do you start with Naruto in that form and then you'll like recede back to original Naruto?
You'll start with him in that form, but that form is permanent throughout the fight.
Ah, that's amazing.
That's something I do like a lot. But I mean, this game is still one of my favorites. It's probably one of my favorite. I was honestly going to say fighting game ever, but it's honestly just one of my favorite games ever, to be honest. So that's really all I got to say on it because, I mean, otherwise I'd just gush on it for hours.
I mean, honestly, Hotshot, I picked this and I bent the rules for you. Like, this wasn't like through a mistake or anything like that. No. Like, I picked this for you because I know how much you enjoyed that game. And that's what happened. So I like to retract my previous statement. This is not a mistake. Definitely to please you on this podcast. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, no, that 6 minutes of discussion of you fucking up had absolutely nothing to do with you picking this.
No, it was for you the whole time. You get it. Ah, there you go. All right, your first pick, buddy.
All right, this is a staple in Nintendo games in my eyes. I've played every iteration. And I love every iteration. I don't own every iteration, sadly. Super Smash Brothers.
Oh my gosh. I love Super Smash Brothers, but I want to challenge you. What's anime based about this? Yes.
You have
if you have to relate it, yeah.
You have Fire Emblem characters in it, and you have Icarus characters in it, like Kid Icarus and Platonia. You have anime characters in it.
Oh, what series are they from?
Kid Icarus is from his self-named Kid Icarus series, and Fire Emblem has God. That's where I forget Fire Emblem characters. You have Lucinia, Ike, Marth. Like there's a whole bunch of Fire Emblem characters in there. Unfortunately, Fire Emblem itself isn't a series I know all that well yet. I'm trying to get into it, but there's a lot of anime inspired characters in there. Oh, Kid Icarus actually has a anime series in there himself, and Mario's in it. So. And I've established very early that Mario has a very bad anime special.
Yeah, he has like an OVA. That's hilarious. I think like we just going forward, we need to bring these games to the scope of anime as much as possible just to like explain it. But like obviously everyone knows this game.
Yeah,
like this game is just
because it's a
the best.
It's Nintendo. Everyone knows Nintendo except for you apparently. But Smash Bros. Being one of my biggest childhood games ever, hell, even throughout elementary school, I played the N64 Smash a lot with a few kids in my class. Then, especially when Melee came out for the GameCube, I loved Melee. I fell in love so hard with Melee. I didn't like Brawl all that much, but then when Ultimate came back around, then they won me back over. It's a great party game.
Sure.
You're smashing your favorite characters. You can have up to like 8 or 16 players at a time, and it's just pure utter madness. And it's a game that I still love even to this day. And one mini game in it that I still love is the home run challenge.
Yeah.
Do you know what that actually is, or are you just agreeing?
I've heard of it before. And I've seen my friends play it. I don't remember like specifically, but I've heard of it before.
The home run
but
challenge.
please.
The home run challenge is a Mr. Sandbag, and you have 10 seconds to damage it as much as you possibly can before grabbing the bat, and then just smacking it as far away as you can.
Wow. I just want to highlight.
Go for it.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Okay. When I was playing this one time, I had Donkey Kong, and I couldn't do anything good with him. But the only thing I knew was really good with Donkey Kong was that if you charge up his punch for a really long time, and you actually hit someone with it, like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? I'm mainly a Kirby player. I love playing as Kirby because I just float around stage and everything, and I just like, you see me on Brawlhalla. I like to dodge a lot. And I feel like Kirby has the right mobility for
The
that.
problem is
one time.
The problem is with DK getting the time to charge your punch, because keep in mind everyone is coming after you at the exact same time. So getting to an area where you can safely charge.
Yeah, we were playing teams, and basically I had DK on the far left of the map. I forget what specific map. Like on the far left, like someone hit me, I fall off, and I forget which character. I think my friend was playing as Zelda or something. And long story short, he smashes the character towards me, and he's like, "Let go now!" And I like was charging my punch for the longest time, and I hit the character right as he was coming towards me as I was DK, and knocked out, bro. Just like the cloud. Oh, it was the best smash ever.
Honestly, when things like that happen, it is like the best feeling. Or if you're in a free for all and you're playing anything past Brawl, so if you're playing Brawl or Ultimate, and you get a Smash Ball, the absolute fear of everyone in the room is the greatest.
100%. Okay, that's all I had to say personally on it.
Yeah, I did. That's all I got too. Just Smash is one of my favorite games too. So that's really all I got.
When we were talking about Akira on the podcast a few maybe like a year ago at this point, I made a meme. I was like, will you play the Akira game for your channel, Hotshot? You're like, is that a thing? I said, yes, that's a thing. It came out in 1988. And you're like, I'm never going to play that. Hotshot, you won't play it, but you will talk about it because that's my next pick from the NES. Akira, the Akira game. That's the thing, dude.
And I already don't like it.
I've like seen like gameplay of it on YouTube, like just one playthrough, and literally there's a text box the whole time.
Well, I mean, what do you mean by a text box? Like the entire
you are
time,
always talking.
Not just when characters are talking.
Just when characters are talking, you're just like talking the whole way through the game. From what I saw, like I saw like only the one full gameplay video. It's like an hour and some long, and you're literally just talking the whole time and just typing. It's just text the whole time. It looks like not fun at all, but at the same time, Akira's a really good movie.
Honestly, if you made Akira like a racing game or like a race to destination points or anything like that, I feel like it would have done better than just talking.
I mean, the genres for this game is adventure and visual novel, so I think that makes sense.
Okay, well, that's probably why then, because visual novel, you have absolutely no control of the character. It's just it's a visual novel. Occasionally it'll give you choices to go through, but other than that, it's a comic that you're turning the pages with a controller.
Basically, I mean, there's a market for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I love visual novel games. I just probably wouldn't like Akira.
No, fair enough. So yeah, story: the player takes the role of Kaneda, who begins the game when his motorcycle gang is taken into police custody after the abduction of their friend Tetsuo by the military. Yeah, the wiki is like very, very basic on this. There's nothing crazy about this. The gameplay progressed in the game by selecting actions from a list. The current location is depicted in a static image, often redrawn from the movie. The game was released in 1988. It was released 5 months after the film, and the release coincides with the height of popularity of the Akira series. Yeah, nothing crazy. So the Famicom Sushuin magazine gave this game a rating out of 40. What do you think out of 40? What is the rating of this game?
If it's any higher than 13, I'm gonna cry.
It is.
It's higher than 13?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, boo hoo hoo. Little bit 17?
Exactly, yes.
Shit, okay. I mean, if you said like a lot, I would imagine that it would have gotten over a half score. But this got a 17 out of 40. I mean, there was probably a market for it though, because it's Akira. So like, if you put anything that had a massive fan base or like did really well into a game, there's going to be people that bought it and people that are going to give into it. But still, even out of all that fan base, it didn't even do half half the amount of score. It just kind of hurts a little bit.
No, yeah, and I was looking more into it. There's also a pinball Akira game called Akira Psycho Ball.
Well,
it came out in 2002 on the PS2. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'd be more for a pinball Akira than I am for this a visual novel.
For the visual novel.
Akira visual novel. No, thank you. I'm good. There's other series I'd like visual novels about more. Give me a Soul Eater visual novel. Let's see what we can do.
That'd be cool. Soul Eater visual novel would be really cool.
Like you play as a new student in the Deathmeister Academy and like go and meet everyone and like choose routes. Like if you want to be a Kishin or a hunter, so and so. See, I have ideas. Probably better than this one.
All right, Hotshot.
That's all
What's
you got?
your next pick?
Yeah. All right.
There's not much to this game.
Mine's another classic one that if you haven't played, I know you've at least heard of, and if you haven't, you actually will make me cry. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Of course, I've heard of this game.
Have you played this game?
I've played it a little bit. I haven't played it much, but I have played it a little bit.
Okay. Ocarina of Time. So I said at the beginning of the podcast that I tried choosing games that, like, if they had a franchise beforehand that did something entirely different. Ocarina of Time is the first Zelda game, to my knowledge, to actually have a full-on fleshed out 3D world to explore, not just a top-down view of a dungeon crawler. There's an actual world to explore, actual characters to interact with, not just a dangerous to go alone, take this, and then go clear the dungeon. There's actual quests and storylines of characters that you follow. So Ocarina of Time is just one of those classic games that a whole lot of people know, playing the game through Link, getting a vision when you're a child that Zelda is leaving the castle thanks to Ganondorf overrunning him, and then throwing the ever named Ocarina of Time. Now, for the longest time, Jaden, I actually just want clarification from you because I don't know if you're on the same boat. For a long time when I was a kid, a lot of my classmates, me included, thought Link was actually Zelda.
No, Zelda's the princess, Link is Link. No, Link is Link. I knew Link was Link from the beginning. I was not one of those, oh, Zelda's the one we're playing. Nah, bro. Zelda is the princess. Link is the main character. Then why isn't it called Link? Because that's not what they called it, bro. Sorry, I'm just reliving my 8th grade PTSD.
Legitimately, I didn't know you weren't Zelda until, so I actually named my first save file Zelda until I got to the Hyrule Castle and talked to Zelda for the first time, and I was just like, oh shit. Ever since then, I was like, okay, so I'm not Zelda. Who the hell am I? I actually didn't know my name. I actually didn't know it was Link until I played Smash Bros.
What year did this game came out?
Ocarina of Time was either 96 or 98, I think. It was on the N64.
Oh, okay, I see. Because I'm trying to, like, see if it had any influence on the anime series of The Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda has an anime series? I knew it had a cartoon series. I didn't know it had an anime series.
Well, apparently it's an anime. That's what it's called. Like, The Legend of Zelda: The Tale of the Reborn Hero in Asia is a 2016 anime produced by Protection LG and broadcasted on television station Tokyo MX.
Wait,
it was on Crunchyroll.
It was created in 2016?
Yes. That's what I'm trying to see. Like,
then there's probably some influence from Ocarina of Time, but really, there have been so many different storylines and so many different angles have taken the Legend of Zelda story that it could honestly be its entirely new and separate thing. And you just have characters named Link, who's a hero, Zelda, who's the princess, and Ganondorf, who's the evil bastard. And that's really it. Like, that is all you need. You just need those 3 characters in the Triforce, and you're set. You can do literally whatever else you want with them. Like, the newest one, or one of the newest ones to come out, Breath of the Wild, had automatons and lasers.
No, I see, but, like, the way you were describing, like, the generic Zelda plot, it sounds a lot like this anime here, because, like, the anime stars Link as a farm boy living far from the kingdom. The Age of Darkness is about to begin with the king Ganondorf taking over the kingdom, while the princess Zelda disappearing. The people hope for the hero of the Triforce prophecy, the wielder of the Triforce of Courage, to appear and end Ganondorf's takeover. However, no one knows who the hero might be. This makes Link's farm friend Linkle a girl who seeks out the legendary hero to claim herself to be the hero of the prophecy, and as such embarks on an adventure with Link tagging along to make sure she's safe. So I guess
Legend of Zelda, Star Wars, they're the same thing.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like I said, like, bringing this to the scope of anime. Like, what are your thoughts when I describe that, and like specifically Ocarina of Time?
Honestly, Zelda getting an anime makes sense because it's been one of the biggest franchises, especially in Japan, for years. So for it to get the first one or its first official anime release, I'm entirely behind. I'm a little surprised they threw in Linkle as like the quote unquote main protagonist, though. That's actually a little surprising.
Is Linkle's like not at all in Ocarina of Time?
No, she's God, I don't know where she came in. It might have been Spirit Tracks, it might have been Wind Waker, might have been Four Swords. She's in Hyrule Warriors, but that's really the only place I've seen her. But then again, I haven't played every Zelda game because there's like at least 14.
Right. But like other than Linkle in that description, does that basically fits the bill for like Ocarina of Time in your opinion?
It pretty much fits the bill with Zelda going missing, which means she's either A, gonna reappear at some point and just straight up help Link and Linkle, or B, she's gonna turn into her counterpart Sheik and end up helping everyone. So it honestly it makes sense to do something like that in the Zelda universe. Yeah, honestly, I'm a bit curious though. I might check this one out.
Yeah, and then not check it out.
Yeah, I'll say I'll check it out. So that means I've checked it out. We're good. It's fine.
Yeah. Google's it. All right, we're done here.
But Ocarina of Time is one of the 3 Zelda games I've actually fully beaten. Out of like the 8 that I've played. So it's
Nice.
just always a good one to actually go back to. In fact, recently, and when I say recently, I mean like during the beginning of lockdown and all that when that was going on, I bought the remaster of that and Majora's Mask for my 3DS.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
But that's really all I got on Ocarina of Time and really Zelda, because it honestly, if you just say the name Zelda, a lot of people are already gonna know. Oh yeah, I haven't met anyone that actually just straight up hates Zelda or like even hates Nintendo, to be honest.
No, I agree. Okay, this next pick of mine is gonna be a bit of a rule bender. I don't know. Like I still
You
like,
picked
this
Naruto
franchise,
Ultimate Ninja. I think that's as far as you can bend the rules.
I feel like this one might just bend it a bit more, be in that same vein. But like I still argue that like it's on a Nintendo console, exclusively on a Nintendo console from what I've seen. I am picking L, the prologue to Death Note Spiraling Trap on the Nintendo DS. We have such different approaches on this podcast, bro. I swear.
I mean, yeah, you focus just purely on the anime aspect, where if you've seen it on screen as an anime on its own and it happens to be a game, it counts. Me, I'm just going on Nintendo because I know what Nintendo means.
I mean, I know what anime means. We
Yeah.
complement each other,
So
bro.
you're going off of what anime means. I'm going off what Nintendo means. It's fine. We're good. I don't hate you.
It totally
at
works
all.
out. Okay, so basically, because remember off podcast I was telling you I might have to recycle one of my picks.
Yeah.
This one is very similar to Death Note Kira games where we had the whole werewolf situation, or Town of Salem type of game. This game is basically like an escape room adventure where basically you start as a player, you choose like what gender and all that stuff, like kind of like a Pokemon thing. What's your name again? And then L appears on the screen, and he helps you and guides you on how to like disarm traps and figure out a way out of the building. And that's basically the concept of the game. It doesn't look like crazy. It came out in 2008, and you're basically like an FBI agent who's like knocked out during this investigation, and you have to like try to get out of this hotel that you're in, and that's it. Like on the on-screen, Al will give you like try to get out of it, do this and do that, and and gives you tips, and you like work your way out of the hotel. So basically, I don't even know if like Kira's in this one. I don't think so. I feel like they just take the Death Note like character of Al, and they're like, all right, he's a genius, so let's put him in this plot, which is kind of cool.
So is it kind of like an escape room thing?
Exactly that.
Okay. But like your guide is L or you are L?
Your guide is L. You are an FBI agent.
Okay. So it's an escape room / mystery solving kind of deal? Or is it just the traps in escape room?
Well, there's like mystery to it where like
Okay.
you don't know exactly what's going on. So yeah, no, a bit of everything.
Okay. Well, it makes sense for Death Note to have something like that. For Kira not to be in it though, like he may be, he may not be. We don't know. We haven't played this. If Kira isn't in it, that's kind of an impressive choice, but at the same time it could be used as like a training ground, like L training like his like quote unquote his special forces or something like that, of like these guys know how to actually get in and out and around because they're trained by me.
Yeah, I mean,
or like
that's,
training special investigators, I guess.
Basically, like there's not much more to this game to that. Like it looks like a pretty like I'm looking online. There's like these gameplay videos that are under an hour, so it doesn't seem like there's much to this game after like okay.
Just seems like a free to download game. Like, hey, hey, do an escape room, and your guide is L. By the way, it's all in Japanese speech and text, so good luck.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you just
I
got, like,
played I
Ellen.
played a few games like that. It's just me mindlessly clicking. Like, I don't know what this does, but let's find out.
Yeah, basically you got L on your PDA and you're just like moving around. That's basically it.
Or he just pops up like in Star Fox, just pops up below your screen, just has Al either with cake or sitting on his like squatting down like he usually does, and then just says what he says.
Yeah, and like you have like an L communicator window, and that's how you communicate with L. That's basically everything I had to say on this game. There's not
Yeah,
much else to say.
it doesn't really sound like there's a whole lot to that one. I mean, it sounds cool for what it is, for being a Death Note game that actually fits the genre of Death Note, being a mystery solver and escape room and stuff. But that's really all I got. It just seems like it fits with the universe.
All right, your next pick, bro.
All right. Next up is a universe that I actually just recently got into. Especially like beginning or so of quarantine and everything like that. The universe of Paper Mario. Do you know this one?
Paper Mario? No, I don't.
Paper Mario. So when you think Mario, you think platformer, right? Just like get from point A to point B, avoid obstacles, kill enemies, and save the princess at the end of the day, right?
Okay.
Paper Mario is different in which it has you go through different worlds, and the first one does still have you look for Princess Peach, but you actually save her like very early on, and then the rest of it is just finding Bowser. But it's not a 2D platformer or anything like that. It's an RPG.
This is so weird.
So it's an RPG. It's an RPG where you can use items. You can use items. You can level up Mario. You can get more health. Especially when it goes into Paper Mario, like Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario the Origami King, or Paper Mario Color Splash. All of the Paper Mario games, except for the first one, are actually turn-based RPGs where you actually do damage to a group of enemies who come up to you, like a lot in the same way of like a Final Fantasy aspect or a Pokemon aspect. So it's a very different turn than what you're used to for Mario. But I instantly fell in love with the universe because I love Mario, and the designs of everyone are so fucking cute, and it's honestly really solid play because I mean it's still Mario.
Okay. The plot here, like you're rescuing Peach, right? That's still happening, right?
In the first one, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, like as the anime scope guy, that's basically what that anime Mario thing is, because the name of that anime Mario is Super Mario Bros. The Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach.
Yeah, so it covers literally every adaptation of Mario. Be it Paper Mario or this Mario or Mario Sunshine or Mario Galaxy. Every Mario, he's rescuing Peach. The only difference is in this one, Peach is actually rescued like after you clear the first world. And Peach
is Peach made out of paper?
Yeah, everyone and everything is made out of paper. And Peach in this,
is there a thing with like fire?
Huh? They use like fire and stuff like that. They use like fire moves, but it doesn't really like burn the paper. Think magic paper. Like it doesn't burn, but it can you can wrinkle them. Like you can find a toad and like crush him into a ball, like wad a piece of paper and throw him, and he's still alive, just crumpled in that ball. You can
okay, that's cool.
You can rip him, you can fold him. The only thing they really don't like is getting wet and soggy. And one other one that I play a lot is Paper Mario Color Smash, where everyone gets their color drained, and you have to hit them with a paint-filled hammer in order to get their paint back and get them back to normal.
It's gonna be like a very like. So you play this game a lot, right?
I've played this one quite a bit, yeah, and I played a lot of the iterations.
One of my like questions, like, do you like as far as the sound effects in that video game, is it the same sound effects as like the classic Super Mario Bros? Do you hear a lot of those when you play that game?
Yeah, so the jump noise is still kind of the same. The thwop noise is still kind of the same. It's still Mario World. It's just paper.
That's really cool because
like
I'm
the,
just like
the last one that came out, and it came out this year, is Paper Mario the Origami King. So when you're exploring the world, eventually you'll come across like these pits that are like held together by like scaffolding and pipes and stuff, but you can use confetti to fill up the hole and fix the world.
No, it's really cool. I just wanted to say that when comparing this to the anime movie, they also use the Super Mario Bros. Sound effects in the movie, from what I'm getting from my research.
Yeah, because it's still Mario.
I think it's really cool. Yeah, but I think it's really cool that like they have these specific like trademark points or like staples that like go from an anime to a video game. You know what I mean? I just think that's like a really awesome thing that like audio can traverse that different medium.
Honestly, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to think of a retort and I have nothing. I just
No, it's all
have
good.
I just have an agreement, and that's really all I got.
No, all good. I just thought like the mic cut out or something.
Yeah.
Totally cool.
This one,
All right,
it covers a lot of different consoles and everything with different iterations. But out of all the ones I've played, I love all of them. The one that I want to play the most is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, but I can't. It's a GameCube only, and everywhere I look, it's over $500 to get.
Yeah, don't.
That's why I haven't.
Fair enough. All right. My next pick.
Yep.
So this
is your fourth pick. Just so you know.
Fourth pick. This one is a old school one. It's even older than Akira. I'm picking from the NES. I'm picking Dragon Power.
I've never heard of this one.
Dragon Power. It's an action-based game based on Dragon Ball.
That makes sense.
So basically,
I was honestly thinking and kind of hoping it was more Dragon Quest, but hearing that it's Dragon Ball makes sense why you'd pick it.
There we go. All right, so the Japanese name for it is I need to say it just because it sounds so cool. Dragon Ball Shinron no Nazo. Basically, from what I gathered, it came out in 1986 in Japan, and then it was remade in an altered version, and in March 1988, it came out as Dragon Power in the United States, like outside of Japan, and it was basically like a divorced version of the Dragon Ball original game. I've seen gameplay footage of this. Basically, you're like this very altered version of Goku. Like the character has black hair. I think uses a sword or some sort of like a stick, like the magical stick he has, and has a tail, and you're collecting Dragon Balls. And you have like characters on the loading screen, such as the turtle and Bulba, and at the very end, you gather all 7 Dragon Balls and summon Shenron. It's a platformer where you fight enemies and you have a boss battle at the end. And it's just like really cool. You can see like the very beginnings of Dragon Ball in that game.
Like you're talking original Dragon Ball, right? This isn't Z.
No, original of Dragon Ball. Like it roughly follows like the original season of Dragon Ball, where when they're looking for the Dragon Balls at the beginning of the Dragon Ball series, and then you encounter like enemies and you fight them and everything, and then eventually on there's like a tournament. So there's a little bit of like the Dragon Ball storylines spread across in there.
I don't know how to feel about this one exactly, because you say you're not exactly Goku, just a character with black hair and a sword, but it follows Dragon Ball story.
I feel like it's Goku, but it's like you can tell that it's like a bit altered. Like, you know it's Dragon Ball because there's still like Shenron at the end. Bulma's there. A character that looks a lot like Bulma is there. A character that looks a lot like Goku is there. You can tell it's based from Dragon Ball.
I don't know if I'd check this one out. It sounds kind of. I mean, I know we're going completely offhand because obviously neither one of us have played this, and hell, I didn't even know the name until you started talking about it. It just sounds like one of those ones that it got made just for the sake of being made, like to meet a quota for that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm looking at here, and it sounds like they renamed characters. Like Bulma is known as Nora, Yamcha is Lancer, Oolong is known as Pudgy. Dragon Balls are called Crystal Balls.
Are you sure this isn't like a bootleg or something?
No, it's a remake. It's an altered remake version. It's a divorced version from the original Dragon Ball game.
Okay.
But and you know what they call the Kamehameha?
Oh God, what?
Wind wave.
Why do I kind of like that? Like, obviously not more than Kamehameha, of course, but why do I kind of like the idea of Wind Wave being a name for a move?
I don't know. I think there's the peel-offs in there too. So, like really OG Dragon Ball, Dragon Power on the NES. That's my pick.
Okay. I might have to look research into this one just to see like how absurd that is, because if you do follow the Dragon Ball story, just use the Dragon Ball characters. You don't really need to reskin anything, but I don't know. Maybe they had a reason. Maybe it just happened for, I don't know. Maybe it was just a money thing. I'm legitimately dumbfounded on this one.
All right, your turn, Hotshot.
Okay. Next up, it's another Legend of Zelda game, and arguably this one is my favorite Zelda game, but it is also one that is wildly hated because of basically a lot of people say it's not Zelda. This is the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors. Have you heard
Never
of this
heard
one
of
at
this.
all? Okay.
No.
Hyrule Warrior. Have you heard of like Samurai Warriors or Dynasty Warriors?
Not even. This is complete new territory.
So the Warrior games basically have you as a one person going against an entire army of people. Like you have your army and everything too behind you, but you control one character and you have to take control of bases, defeat certain bosses, help out your fellow playable characters, and defeat the final boss in order to assure victory in almost every map. And it's just if you remember when I talked about anime games before, when I brought up the game from Berserk, actually I talked about that in the Bloodiest Murders when I talked about Guts himself.
I remember, yeah.
When I said that game is you are just Guts and you are going through wave after wave after wave of enemies taking territories and things, it's exactly that. It's just this is a Legend of Zelda skin for it. So
yeah, I think it's like a cool concept, but at the same time, I feel like it's like the most non-anime thing we've discussed so far, just because it doesn't compare from like that anime series for Zelda. I'm like, honestly, my reaction is more like confused as to like literally what does this have to do with anime? Is actually my reaction.
It's Legend of Zelda, and Legend of Zelda has an anime. I told you I'm going specifically Nintendo. Not all of mine are gonna have tight Nintendo tie-ins or tight anime tie-ins.
But we still but like what I said to that originally was we still have to bring it to the scope of anime. You know what I mean? Because we're still on anime podcasters and we're still discussing anime. But like that's why I'm saying that compared to the previous Legend of Zelda pick, where a storyline resembled the anime series, right? You know, this one feels like much more like a war-based thing and like a divide and conquer thing, which doesn't sound like it relates as much as to the anime version of Zelda. So this one to me feels like the most outlier one out of all the anime-based ones we've discussed so far, is the point I'm trying to make. So that's why I'm asking you, what does it bring in terms of anime? Literally just the fact that Zelda has another anime and that's it. Like I really feel like
honestly, it's the fact that it's the fact that Zelda has always had that kind of anime look when it comes to creating the characters. Link looks like he belongs in a fairy tale anime. So does Zelda, so does Sia. Like everyone has that anime design and style and look because they were animated in Japan, so they all have that certain style. They might not have a series or a manga or anything like that for this series, because this series is a collection of characters from previous Zelda games. So there's characters from Wind Waker, there's characters from Twilight Princess, there's Link from like there's a costume from Ocarina of Time, and it basically ties in, like, or it doesn't tie in because it's not canon to anything. It has a whole bunch of different elements from different Legend of Zelda aspects. Like I said, Linkle is a playable character in this one, and that's where I know her from. So the fact that the anime used her just kind of surprised me a little bit, just because I don't know her original story. But it's you're right. It isn't Link like going to save the princess and everything like that, but it does still have the power of the Triforce and like the power of the courage. Hero will rise up, reunite the Triforce, Master Sword. It basically has everything that you would imagine when you hear Legend of Zelda. It just might not be that strictly what you're looking for in anime type.
No, yeah, like what I'm gathering from what you're saying is that like Zelda kind of always had that anime aesthetic in the games.
Yeah.
And that continues in this game, which is cool, I guess. But like at the same time, that's why I said earlier. I honestly I really don't know this game too much, and it sounds like a cool game. But in the spirits of like anime podcasting, like this one's kind of on the lower tier for me, just because what I'm trying to focus my picks on, which is so agree to disagree.
All right, I mean that's really all I got. Like I'm not asking you to rehash any conversation or anything like that. But yeah, I came into this with just Nintendo on the forefront of the brain, because Nintendo being a Japanese company, having a lot of anime tie-ins with the games that they have, like Fire Emblem characters and Kid Icarus characters being in Smash Brothers, to some of their franchises being different animes.
That's cool. That's cool, because I came in this with an anime fronted brain, and that's what's awesome about this, because we have like very different perspectives, so we clash on this, which is like a fun, interesting conversation to have. So in general, I see your point. I disagree with your point, and you disagree with mine. So that's it, bro. It's cool. It's awesome.
I just wanted to get that point across, and that was it. I'm good.
For sure. Yeah, all right. So my final pick is another rule bender. Not an Avatar or anything. No, okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't. So this game is available on GameCube, and that's basically the only tie it has to Nintendo, but it's one that I love. and I feel like you, at the very least, would enjoy this franchise. I'm talking about Zatch Bell Mamoto Fury.
I knew about this game from Shonen Jump manga, but I've never actually played it.
It's a really cool game. It's really, really fun. When I saw this at the store at EB Games when I was a little kid, it came out in 2006, I think is when I got it. Basically, it's a fighting multiplayer where you are a human with your Mamoto, and you go through not the whole Zatch Bell storyline, but a good chunk of it as Zatch and Kyo. Kyo's the other character's name, so you know GoPro's gonna be a fan. And basically, each Mamoto comes with their own spell book, and you unleash like their attacks by doing certain commands, and you can switch between the human and the Mamoto. The human is wielding the book, and you can cast the spells, and then the Mamoto is the one with this basically the weapon. And you can switch between the two. Like I know when you switch to Zatch can like run faster. There's just different stuff, and every level is really cool. Like there was one specific level I had the hardest time beating where I was playing as Zatch and Zatch and Kyo, and the enemy was like destroying the school, and the whole point was you had to like stop this guy from attacking the school, but you couldn't kill him off. You had to run the clock. So it was always like super difficult, and each Mamotos can have up to 6 spells, and they get stronger and stronger. Everyone's got like a shield attack or a basic beam attack. So a lot of awesome stuff in this game that I really enjoyed. I know what do you know of Zatch Bell just in general?
Honestly, I know the doll. Like, I know Zatch, and that's really it. The only thing that I had gathered from Zatch Bell are like previews of it I had either when I was watching Toonami or like popping in an anime DVD of some regard, and there would always be like a own Zatch Bell on DVD now kind of thing. That's really all I had on it. I didn't this came out around the time where I thought like Naruto and Dragon Ball were like the only anime that really mattered, so I didn't really branch out to it. So I honestly have nothing.
Yeah, Zatch Bell is one of those animes for sure that like got like covered up by the big anime series like Naruto and Dragon Ball and that stuff. Back on
And Pokemon, especially Pokemon.
yeah, 100%. But back on the game itself, there's a bunch of different game modes: story, arcade, VS. You can do 4-player battles. There's mini games too, and then there's a gallery where you can like go through like different pictures or songs or anything that's like.
It sounds like a good one that I at least want to check out or at least look into. Is it just me, or do you see a lot of anime games are like almost specifically fighter games?
I feel like yes, but this one, the cool thing about it is that there's more than just the fights, because you do have like different types of fights and also an added story mode and like an arcade mode. So it's really like there's a bit more variance to it, but it's definitely fighter based.
Okay, I mean that honestly, that's kind of the most of the thing that just stood out to me is that it's another anime fighter game, which I mean I'm totally for, because I love anime fighter games. I have a shit ton of them. It's just the main thing that stood out to me, unfortunately.
All right, go ahead with your final pick, Hotshot.
Final pick. Okay, so God, I'm between two, but I guess I'll go with this one. This one is one that I had that I bought like almost immediately after getting my Switch, but initially didn't really like all that much, but after a little bit of time I actually warmed up to, and now it's one of my favorites. It's Pokken Tournament.
Oh, yes, I've heard of this one, and you've talked about it before. It's a good one. It's a good one.
It is a good one. It's Pokemon, so there's your anime tie-in, you fuck. And
how dare you talk about anime on anime podcasters?
How dare I? How dare I talk about anything but anime on anime podcasters? What is wrong with me? But
how are you? That's not anime. Don't ask me that.
But instead of your usual turn-based and type versus type and gotta catch them all, it is a straight 1v1 fight, kind of inspired by the way of Tekken, which is why it has the name Pokken. So I think it has like 20 playable Pokemon that you can play as, and you don't wait for your trainer to yell you shit. You just go in and wreak havoc on them. I actually played a little bit myself, and before this podcast, I mean, and one of the characters you can play as is Mewtwo. And on top of that, you can play as Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo has a ultimate move that actually racks up 9,999 hits. Like in one combo move, just not over 9,000 hits.
Oh my god, what? That's insane.
Yeah, so as insane as you can see Pokemon get with their moves, like in the series, at least you know that like the only thing that's really going to get affected is some of the area around them and their target Pokemon. No, this Shadow Mewtwo literally flies up above Earth with a laser beam and just strikes you down. Or there's actually another favorite of mine for Gengar. He'll turn into like a horrible giant version of himself and eat you for as a move. It's an amazing thing to watch. And that's the other thing.
Yeah, no,
That's the other thing where like so type ups actually don't matter. So like where it'd be like water super effective against fire or anything like that, they don't matter. It just matters like how you can actually maneuver in game. Because like usually fighting moves don't have any power against ghost types, right? But in this one, Machamp can absolutely wreck Gengar.
damn, okay. That's amazing. I love this specific, I've seen, like, after the podcast we talked about it, I've seen, like, this game play out and everything, and it just looks so action-packed and fun and intense, and I think it has that same thing as my first pick, Naruto, where it takes Pokemon, intensifies the action bits, and puts it in a tournament format, and it's a winning combination in my opinion. And this game is extremely successful. You can see it from the ratings it has and everything. Like, it's a beloved game, and it's a great final pick.
And unfortunately, it's just one of those ones that just took me a while to fall in love with. But eventually, after actually sitting down and playing it for a while, I did. One of my friends who actually recently had to move for undisclosed reasons, I went over to her place and we played this quite a bit, like before the move. And we actually first found that Mewtwo move together, and both of our jaws hit the fucking ground.
Oh man!
So it's one that you can definitely play with a friend or anything like that, and it makes it even better. Unlike original Pokemon, that is just like strictly one player unless you're playing Stadium or unless you're connected. This is just one of those few Pokemon games where you can play locally together, and I love that about it.
Very cool. All right, let's wrap things up. On my end, I had Dragon Power.
Before
go ahead.
Before that, I do have one quick honorable mention I want to pop up just because of how absurd it is.
Go ahead.
So this has almost no connection to anime, just so you know. The only thing it has is that it's Mario. It is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom.
I don't know what this is. No.
Do you know the Rabbids at all?
No.
Okay. Do you know the minions from Despicable Me?
Yes. Oh no.
Picture them, but as rabbits.
I'm done. Okay, my 5 picks.
Honestly, yeah, that's all I want. I just want you to know that exists in the world. There's a game where Mario is working with minions.
Oh my gosh.
I won't describe it or anything to you. Just let that sink in.
I don't want to let it sink in.
All right. Well, while you're busy letting that sink in, my picks were Super Smash Bros. The series, Paper Mario the series, Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Pokken Tournament, with an honorable mention of Mario plus Rabbids.
Mine were Dragon Power, L, the prologue to Death Note Spiraling Trap, definitely the shortest game title ever, Akira, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, and Zatch Bell Mamoto Fury.
Honestly, a very, very, very different definition of what this podcast was supposed to be from the both of us, but that's half the fun.
Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way, because it'd be way too boring for us to have the same point of view and just agree with everything. I want to get mad at you and disagree with you. That's what
friendship is. It's just getting mad at each other and screaming.
Here's your anime connection, bro. I love that. Or like, hey man, how's it going? That's not anime. You can't ask me that on podcasts.
It's like, well, Jesus, all right, I'm just not gonna.
So how was your day? Yeah, but what's the anime connection to like your day in general, Hotshot?
I got called
so many good memes.
I got called a weeb. Does that count?
All right, let's wrap things up. Where can people find you, bro?
You guys can go ahead and find me right here on JaianMusic's channel on Anime Podcasters, and you guys can find me over on Twitter at Caution Ginger. If you guys go over to my channel on here on YouTube, Hotshot Ginger, I do have a few episodes up of PonsuCast, a sister podcast of anime podcasters that we talk about more the more darker side or more pervy side of anime that Jane just does not want to touch. Episodes over there have been kind of slow lately just due to life starting to get back on track, and unfortunately me and my co-host schedules don't really mesh all that well to get episodes out. So that's why there's been a little bit of a pause between that. But once we get that figured out, we'll try and get more episodes for you guys.
Yes, the next episode is supposed to be Kyo's personal pick on our road to 100. We're going to see how we're going to try to make that work. At the very least, if we can't make it work, I want him to pick the topic and like give us a voicemail or something. I want to include him on one. But the next one will be a Kyo-influenced podcast, so you do not want to miss that. Make sure to subscribe to Anime Podcasters on all of your podcasting platforms or the one you listen to your podcasts on.
It's going to be top 5
shout out
anime
to India.
character designs, isn't it?
Oh, I'd be awesome. And then the other places you can find us is on Facebook.com/Anime Podcasters. You can find me on YouTube.com/JaianMusic. I'm at JaianMusic on social media. And the artwork is provided by GoProkyo. He does amazing art. All of our thumbnails, all of our character drawings, the logo. He is amazing and available for hire, so go check him out. Link in the description. Make sure to leave us a rating on your podcatcher and a voicemail for us to answer. And that is it. So for myself and Hotshot, this has been another episode of
Anime Podcasters.
Bye!
Bye.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Anime Podcasters. If you would like to support the podcast, you can find audio downloads on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Google Play. If you would like to support the voices in this podcast, follow their links in the description and the Twitter handles on screen. See you next time, leads.